Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of New to Weeaboo. This is episode 53 for August 11th, 2021. I am Nemesis and I am joined by Alcatraz.
Hello.
Anime stuff plugging along. I've been still keeping up with some of the shows of, My Next Life is a Villainess, Kobayashi, Love Live Superstar, although that was on hiatus until, by the time you hear this, that will finally have its third episode air.
No.
What was it? Oh, Magi Record just started airing second season. I'm not sure how that's going to turn out. Well, I kind of have an idea just because I read the synopsis for the game. Apparently, it's the anime following the game somewhat closely, so there's that. But yeah, it's still going along.
Good Smile servers melted.
Yeah, Good Smile servers melted because of Gura's Nendo. Gura, the VTuber, her Nendo went up and everything died.
All the servers melted under the load.
Well, good server files did. Everyone else just actually seemed to withstand it. It basically, Nendos typically don't sell out like that.
Yeah, it's just the power of Shark.
Yep. That's what happens when you have a 3 million plus subscriber VTuber suddenly get a figure.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, managed to get one though, so there's that.
Yep.
I went to Amazon.
Yeah, I was able to fight through the server issues, and I got one directly with Good Smile.
I didn't have to fight through the server. I just went to Amazon Japan and bam.
Yeah.
Done. Easy.
I didn't even think about Amazon Japan, but oh well, I got it.
There you go. Now Amazon Japan, of course, it's sold out on there, and now it's just third-party listing. So one was it's like basically $250 for.
Yep, the scalping has already begun.
Yep, because people know people are going to be desperate for it.
Yep.
Oh well, I got mine.
Anyway,
we're here to talk about Gura.
Yes, we're now transitioning into a VTuber podcast.
Not that much of a transition, let's be real.
It wouldn't be. The anime VTuber crossover is
pretty significant. Anyway, we're here to talk about anime, specifically the summer 2021 anime, of which we picked once again 4 random, and we watched the first 3 episodes of each. Well, apparently the stuff starts happening in the 4th episode, so go figure.
Go figure.
They waited 1 episode too long to do the hook.
Yep, you're supposed to do it in the first 3. That's the whole point.
Well, the 3rd episode's got to have the hook.
Yep.
First 2 are setup, 3rd episode's hook.
Yep.
Like Manica.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, we got once again watched four different anime, and we're gonna talk about those over the course of this episode. First one we drew was Tsukimichi, a Moonlit Fantasy, or Sukuga Michibiku Isekai Dochu. But yeah, it's an isekai, as you heard in that Japanese title.
Yep.
Guy named Makoto Misumi. He one night really, just winds up waking up in a weird starry void. And turns out Tsukuyomi has dragged him off to another world because his parents were actually from this other world. And in fact, the author was basically probably writing stories based off his time in this other world.
Yep.
Anyway, he's dragged there because of a contract they made, and the goddess doesn't like him, thinks he's ugly, and blah, blah, makes fun of him, and then gives him a kind of a iffy power, to say the least.
And then kicks him off into the wasteland to get rid of him.
Yeah, and actually was hoping he'd die on the way down. But yeah, Tsukuyomi saves him, and then he winds up meeting a little Emma, who's a Highland orc who looks like a pig.
Yep.
Yeah, and she helps him out because he's in a wasteland and no food, no water. And eventually tells him about she's going to be sacrificed to Shin. And, well, he meets Shin. It turns out Shin had no idea about the whole sacrifice thing. Also, he beats her really easily.
Because it turns out, Makoto's super powerful because it's an isekai.
Yep, because the things. And in part because Tsukuyomi gave him some power. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, he beats Shin, and Shin then becomes his, companion, takes on a human form because he's got most of the power in the relationship, I guess. Yeah, Shin, manipulate space, read memories, all that stuff. Then wind up meeting up a spider girl who's terrorizing some elder dwarves, and they take on new names. Shin becomes Tomoe, and the spider girl becomes Mio, and they wind up meeting up, staying with him, and they take a bunch of whole different races into this little weird space that the dragon create, and they're doing all this stuff, and his whole thing is so far he just wants to have human companionship because so far he can only been hanging out with non-human creatures, and turns out he can't actually speak the common language because the way the goddess did her gift kind of screwed him over on that. Yeah, it's that's so far it's been all set up.
Yeah, the first 3 episodes was just pure setup.
It's kind of, I guess, playing a little bit with the isekai thing, a little bit.
Like,
again, the whole he's actually technically descended from people who are from this world he's in, and he's only here because there's something they did.
Yeah, that's a little different than standard.
Yeah.
They played it. Even in the show, they played the whole, it's not like a normal isekai.
Yeah.
But it's also like,
because like he even talks about he wasn't run over by a truck or anything.
Yep, they actually mention that in there. So it's like they sort of try and lampshade, but they do we're not like other isekais, except they actually still kind of are.
Isekai do this. They try to say we're different, and then they do the exact same thing every other isekai does.
Yeah, you have the isekais that they're trying not to be, and the isekais that they end up becoming they're not trying to. It's like there's only 2 ways you can go here.
Yeah, so some of the things like, the dragon Tomoe, she can read his memories. That's the reason why she's willing to be his companion, because she reads his memories and gets interested in historical Japanese drama.
Apparently, yes.
Including now she wants to be a samurai and everything. And so that's a thing.
That's a thing.
She's kind of weird, and that's the reason apparently Tomoe is her name now, because she wanted a new name from him, and he gave her that because that's a name he hears a lot about when girls in these historical dramas,
I guess.
Also, she knows other things about him
because read his memories.
Yep. Although there was a funny bit, like the Tsukuyomi, actually, when he was being dragged to the other world, he promised that he wiped out his hard drive and everything.
I'll go clear your browser history.
Clear his browser history. He's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a thing. The other thing I want to point out is actually this one thing they did, which is the orcs. They're kind of pig-looking, these orcs, and kind of, not the usual thing, I guess, in like Western fantasy.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is, unlike a lot of, say, video games and whatnot, where, you got the very monstrous-looking guys, and then the girls who are mostly human-looking with maybe some minor monster features, Emma actually looks like a pig, an anthropomorphized pig.
Yeah, it actually matches the rest of the race.
Which is like, actually, you know what? Kudos. You didn't fall into the obvious trap.
Yep.
Although he kind of has freaking out because, if he keeps going down this quest line, he's going to wind up having to marry her or something.
Yep, that's another thing that they do, is they keep bringing up, like, he knows he's in an isekai, but there's like all this comparison to video games and RPGs.
Yeah, he knows the tropes.
Yeah.
And he's trying to avoid them, although this world, surprise, doesn't always play it straight.
Yep.
Again, he tries to meet the humans, and they assume he's some sort of demonic thing here to destroy them because of, the presence he has from his,
Yeah, because he was given he's incredibly powerful, and they just see that aura.
Although he's level 1, which, okay.
Although and that's the whole levels.
It's one of those weird things. You have to do that. I've seen this in a lot of isekai where they just kind of, we're just going to put video game mechanics in it.
Yep, we're just going to toss video game mechanics.
So yeah, there's actual just acknowledged in the world levels and stuff. Actually, one I just watched was the one that I've killed slimes 300 years. The witch
that one. I've heard about that whole.
It's actually kind of fun. That one is.
I've heard.
But that one does the whole levels thing and everything. She's level 99, so she's max level.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sort of thing. So it's kind of, some parts of it kind of interesting me. There's also been a couple red flags here and there.
Yeah, like it says, like I mentioned before, it's we're not like the other ones, but it still kind of falls into it. And so many of these isekais with the male protagonist turns into a harem, and it right at the beginning it almost immediately starts falling into that. But I'm not entirely certain if it's going to continue, because in the OPs, although the OPs can change, and they sometimes do, it only shows 2 female characters that are following around it.
Emma.
Two big ones, because there's also Emma. But then it's just the spider and the dragon, and we've already met them, and they've already joined the party, I guess, within the first 2 episodes. So I don't know if it's going to continue to grow, But yeah, those two characters, the way they treat him, it's just like, it's kind of falling into the standard harem type tropes there. And it's like, But there's also the potential they could take it a different direction. There's some interesting lore going on.
Yeah.
But
I think his whole thing is apparently the quest is going to be he's going to get revenge on the goddess who messed with him.
Yeah, because the goddess is a jerk.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're ugly. Go away. I don't like you. That was it. And then said, well, I guess I have to give you something. So here, you can speak to the non-humans. But that specifically meant he couldn't speak to humans.
Yeah.
Until he started learning Common.
Yep.
And now he can read it, but he can't really speak it very well. Yeah. So he just makes little images with magic.
Yep. Also, he has to wear this jewelry that more or less suppresses his mana and whatnot, so that
they don't see his magical aura that scares everyone away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and another thing with the Spider Girl, the Mio, there, her whole thing was like she's like it took her to be like eternally hungry.
Yeah.
Or something. Somehow, then he sated the hunger because he fought her.
She's also kind of a masochist.
Yeah, she's a bit of a masochist, and she was kind of into it. And yeah, she entered into a contract with him, although he wasn't really necessarily willing in that.
Yeah, that's another thing. The magical contracts have to have consent, but then he was knocked out, and they made a magical contract with Mio, and they really went, doesn't this have to have consent? And we'll figure that out later. Was literally the line.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeesh.
So, yeah, she's into him. Tomoe seems to be a little into him, of course, and yeah. Tomoe and Mio also have a bit of a history where they fought each other before, and now there's the whole thing like Mio is apparently higher level than Tomoe, and she's not happy about that, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then the whole thing with the alternate dimension that Tomoe is making. So she has like her own dimension.
Yep.
That she controls, and it's supposed to be just like, it was originally just a void, but then after the contract, since Makoto is the higher level and it's like an 80-20% with Makoto being in control of 80%. The dimension is now changed to actually be a livable world. So apparently now they're just populating it with people.
Yeah, the orcs, the elder dwarves, the mist lizards, and the alki.
Yeah.
They're all in this place, and they gotta live together, and they're all basically part of his little army, which I'm not sure how they're gonna go about things, but they're gonna go about things, I guess. And it's all based on a manga, which has been, still going, started in 2012.
Dang.
Still going.
Long running. So they have a lot of material to go off of, but...
Well, there's a novel, then there's a light novel, then there's a manga, and now it's the anime TV series.
Yep. So they have a lot of material, but it's one of those, there's so many times where you get this like fantasy setting that has potential good lore that they never execute on.
Yeah, or it just gets weird and creepy.
Apart. Yeah, or it just becomes weird and creepy. Like, I think I had a similar thing about that one, like the Monster Girl Doctor one. It was like, you set up some interesting lore and made it super creepy.
I remember that being generic fantasy.
Yeah, well, I still found some of it interesting, but... Yeah, and then it just like, no, that fell apart. And this is one of those, it's at the point where it could be interesting, but it hasn't quite shown it's actually going to go that part yet. So I don't really know how to feel about it in that way, but I'm not all that interested in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm still
might check it out later on, but I don't know.
For me, I'm at that one of those points, like, I'll wait for more things to come out and have someone else say if it's any good, and then I might check it out again. I'm not going to write it off, but I'm not going to put a huge effort into keeping up with it.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Could be interesting, but we'll find out later, I guess.
Yeah.
Let it have a season come out.
Yeah, the next one we watched, though, is the Aquatope on White Sand. This one I kind of heard some things about already beforehand, so I was like, all right, this is a good one to get. This is a good one to draw. Yeah, it's about... Miyazawa Fuka, who's a retired idol. She literally just retired because of various things. We kind of got little hints and pieces of it throughout the first few episodes. And she just is going to go back to Morika, her hometown. And then she goes, nah, I'm going to go to Okinawa. And winds up there and meeting, Misakino Kukuru. Yep. Who lives with her grandparents and works in the Gamma Gamma Aquarium. Particularly, actually, right now as the temporary acting director because of Grandpa's kind of doing other things right now, essentially. Anyway, she loves that aquarium. Also, weird stuff happens, something supernatural, which is kind of, they've only barely touched on at this point.
Yeah, by the third episode they haven't. They've like you see it in the background, but yeah, it hasn't been directly brought up yet.
But anyway, the whole thing, the aquarium is actually in financial trouble and is actually on the verge of closing, and all that stuff. And Kukuru is desperately trying to keep it open because she loves it and has always loved it her entire life, including like for when she's supposed to be doing math assignments, she just instead writes a report on squids.
Yep.
And of course, also Kukuru lost her parents when she was younger. There's also in the third episode, there's the pregnant woman who's like supposed to be the vet.
Yep, she's the vet.
And she she water breaks when she's helping out.
Yep.
A little baby's born. She experiences the whole weird supernatural water thing.
Yeah.
Briefly.
Yeah.
And then, there's a whole thing. Yeah, the whole thing was like, Fuka is just trying to, initially kind of just, I don't know, she's kind of adrift in her life, so to speak.
Yep.
Doesn't know what to do now. Tries to help at the aquarium because she starts working there. Initially, it's kind of do you even know what you're doing? Or what's the even reason you're even helping out here? Because she messes up when she's trying to feed the penguins, and the whole thing is like they're kind of Kukuru and Fuka are kind of getting closer. So there's that.
There's that. It might be gay.
I don't know. I've heard things. That's what I was saying. I've heard things about episode 4.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which we did not watch.
Which we didn't watch because we only watched the first 3 of these.
Yeah, so there's a whole thing there. Anyway, the characters themselves are actually quite interesting. There's a couple so far minor characters like Kuya. He works at the aquarium and has a hard time talking to girls, I guess.
Yep. Always on his phone.
Yeah, but it's one of those things that are kind of like one of those like everyone knows everyone things.
It's just small town.
Small town. Yeah. Everybody knows everybody. It's a fairly small aquarium, trying to keep it alive.
Like the what's her face? The tour guide.
Oh yeah, the tour guide
ends up being basically the ambulance for the vet.
Karin Kuraka.
Yep.
Yeah, she's the one who initially helps out Fuka a little bit.
Yep, and gives her pamphlets, including one to the aquarium. Yeah. Whole little group of friends that all know each other, that all really like the aquarium.
Yep. Oh, that's what I was saying. But then, of course, there's also the guys who show up to try to buy it, but they were really didn't care that much.
Oh yeah, those two.
And they accidentally knocked over a little handmade sign, and then oops, sorry. I didn't really actually care that much, but yeah, then oops.
Yeah, Fuka got pissed.
Fuka got mad. Yep.
That was great. It's like
endeared herself to Kukuru.
and Kukuru was like, normally I would be really, that would be unacceptable, but it was funny.
You did it good.
But they deserved it. Well, it was but technically they weren't customers, so
yeah.
Yeah. That one definitely seems interesting. I like the art style. And bright blue hair.
Yeah.
Kukuru's got bright blue hair, and I love stuff like that. Brightly colored hair is just really cool. They all have. Isn't that the one? They have like gradient hair too.
Yes.
Yes. They have interesting gradients in their hair, just as an art style. But I do really like the art style. And fish. There's fish. It seems interesting, and I'm curious to see where it goes. So I might be keeping base with that one.
Yeah, the whole thing with Fuka is like she was a part of an idol group, and she had the opportunity to be like the center for another song, but then she heard one of the other girls like pleading to be a center because like something about her grandma.
Yeah.
And then she stepped aside, and then everyone kind of looked at her negatively after that.
Yeah, it's like, why are you
giving up?
Why are you giving up on this?
And then she went, all right, fine, I'll actually give up.
Yep.
So she retired, and although that was not before she kind of heard them talking behind her back again.
Yep.
Then she just bailed entirely, and her mom freaking out because, where are you? You're not home. Where'd you go?
You're supposed to be home. Where the heck did you go? Yeah.
I'm in Okinawa.
Why are you in Okinawa?
Yep. Because initially she was just like sleeping on a beach.
Yep. Sleeping on the beach. Yeah, it definitely seems interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a bunch of neat stuff there going on, and yeah, I do genuinely like these characters, and there was some funny moments. Again, the whole the penguin thing.
The penguins. Penguin.
Mean little buggers.
Careful, they bite.
Exactly. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, but it's also the weird thing is like there's not a lot to really talk about from 3 episodes.
Yeah,
but I am genuinely interested because it does look nice. The character, I like the characters thing. I want to see where this goes, the two of them and everything. I don't know. I just know
it's definitely a character-driven thing. The interactions between the characters are what this one's being driven by. The story and environment is just the means at which the characters interact. Where like the last one, the Isekai, is very much a lore and other things going on too. It's just a whole ton of things happening. This one's very much focused on the character.
Also, this was very much also your original anime, not based on anything.
Right. Definitely slower paced and more mellow than some of the other ones, but definitely something that I'm curious about and want to see where it goes.
Yep, definitely. I'm going to keep up with this one as it airs. But yeah, the next one though is Re-Main. Yeah, it's a sports anime, particularly about water polo of all things.
Water polo.
Yeah. So you got let's see, Minato Kiyomizu. He it starts to open up with him in hospital, waking up because apparently he was in a coma because he was in a car crash when he was in middle school, and he's pretty much suffered memory loss.
Yep.
So he doesn't remember anything past 6th grade.
Yep.
And he was a big name in the water polo scene, I guess, for a while, but now he's lost everything, so he has no idea about any of this. And so he's now having to adjust to the fact that, he's much older than he remembers. Apparently was a big star, and he doesn't remember any of that. And people were apparently pinning a lot of his hopes, and he's getting out in high school, and a lot of people were pinning hopes on him being still a big water polo star. And now he's like,
yeah,
pretty much. You got Jojimo Joe. He's the captain of the water polo team in his new high school here, and really wants him to join. Then finds out he's got memory loss.
Yep.
Still wants him to join though,
yeah,
because I really need a team because there is nobody but me.
Yep.
Anyway, there's also the guy who Eitaro Oka, who is some guy who looks up to him and was trying following his footsteps, including joining the same school he did, just because he went to that school and he wants to play water polo with him so bad.
The nerd.
Yep. Takakazu Ejiri, who's guy talks all big boisterous game. Turns out, he's not actually that great at water polo.
Yeah, he's athletic, but he's never played water polo. But he thinks, because I'm fit and athletic, I can just play any game. I'm just gonna be instantly good at it.
Yeah, that whole thing. And then you got Yutaka Babayoro Inomata, who's half Nigerian. He's also taller than everyone else, and also has no athletic ability whatsoever.
Yep. And everyone wanted him to play basketball.
Yep.
Because he's tall.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I know how that goes. Oh, wow, you're really tall. Do you play basketball? No.
I do not.
No, I do not.
I either got basketball or football.
Yeah, I got basketball a lot.
Then you got Yoshiharu Ushimoto, who's just really quiet.
Very quiet.
Very quiet. I think Chinu Kawakubo is the girl he met back in middle school, who then re-meets him and,
Yep.
kisses him. Except it was because of a bet they made in middle school that he doesn't remember now.
Yep.
And one of the bets was he will pay her money if he quits or if he messes up or he can't be number one.
Yeah, something like that.
And he's like, well, I can't be number one anymore. I'll just give you the money. She's like scoffing. And apparently she doesn't even like him, at least she claims not to like him. It's pretty clear where things are going to go with these two.
Yeah.
Because the first thing we actually saw was I saw he picked up a magazine with water polo in there. She was in there, and there was also his team was in there too. So it's like, oh, and wait a minute, I know you. You're the girl from the magazine. Yeah, so that's the whole thing. He's dealing with memory loss, and a lot of the people around him don't seem to.
They seem to have memory loss about that
he
too.
has memory loss, so they just kind of expect him to just kind of function like a person who has not suffered from memory loss. And when he kind of doesn't, they get mad at him. It's like
But I forgot how to play. I told you.
He's like missing 4 years of his life.
It was 3 years, but yeah.
Yeah, whatever. 3 years of his life. It's like, come on, guys.
But no, they keep forgetting that. It's like,
I mean,
he's the one with
buckled
amnesia.
down to get himself to a point where he can actually function in high school academically.
Yeah.
Because, well, he had basically crammed 3 years worth of learning into like a couple weeks.
Plus on top of physical therapy.
Yeah, physical therapy.
Because he's been lying in a hospital bed for 203 days.
Yes.
Muscle atrophy.
Yep.
That's actually a thing that
kind of bring that
brought
up later too, because like they're all getting all suited up for playing water polo, and he's like one of them remembers, oh yeah, he was ripped, and now he's like, oh, he's not ripped anymore.
Like, yeah, if you lie in a bed for 203 days straight, you're gonna lose muscle.
Yeah, it's gonna go away.
Tone.
Because it's not gonna be there anymore. So yeah, that seems to be the whole thing. It's gonna be a good old underdog story. Except the twist of one of them is actually a pro or not really pro, but has a lot of experience, but hadn't really access to any of it because the memory's gone.
Yep, and that's seems the way it's going is that the team he's sort of on and building. Everyone has their own set of baggage.
Exactly.
That's what he said about the underdogs. They're all in their own unique.
Very typical of a sports story.
Yep.
Underdogs who somehow, because that's the thing, is the other high school he was going to go to, I guess, was like where his former teammates went, so they're probably going to be the big, the big rival team they got to beat.
I guess, yeah.
That's almost a certainty.
Except they absolutely miss him.
Yeah, they miss him. It's going to be, of course, wouldn't surprise me if somehow that's changed to, what happened to you, man? You used to be so cool, and that sort of thing. It's like, I suffer from memory loss.
This is going to be a recurring thing through this entire thing. Is he has amnesia
in a coma.
And he has amnesia, and everyone else always forgets that he has amnesia.
Well, yeah, the other thing is he has a little sister who was also in the car crash, and the thing was she has PTSD.
Yes, she has nightmares so often about it.
Yeah, there's like I don't remember anything about it, but yeah, that's one of the things. Two different sets of issues. Neither one really overrules the other. But yeah, it's just one of those things like. One has no memory whatsoever. One is too vivid of a memory.
Yep.
That's the thing. Yeah, it seems like his mom got unscathed as well.
That does happen.
It just happens. It depends on where you get hit and everything.
Yep. Depends on when you get hit. Depends on so many things.
Anyway, it's done by Mappa.
Yep.
Zombieland Saga people again.
Yet another one of theirs that they're working on simultaneously.
Yeah, they're working on a lot. There's also, I think they're working on like 2 or 3 this season.
Yeah. We've been over how many.
One of them apparently is very controversial.
Yeah.
Let's see how many. 2 this season. And then another one for the fall season. And Chainsaw Man down the line. And Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2. Which I have not touched yet because...
I've heard things.
Yeah, I keep hearing... back and forth on that one.
Yeah.
It's fascist. It's not fascist. Well,
it's also like I've heard it referred to as Babby's first anime.
Yeah. Well, then again, a lot of people, I don't really pay attention to that sort of criticism because it's usually just gatekeeping nonsense.
It is usually.
Usually, yeah, this one is like, one of them is just the other anime they're doing this season apparently has some serious controversy around it because of a particular scene, which is kind of
fun.
Yeah. It's one of those, it's the controversy over the scene itself existing at all and whether or not how you're supposed to interpret said scene.
Right. One of those things.
So fun times.
Fun times.
So yeah, that's Remain, I guess.
It seems interesting.
It's kind of interesting, but I'm not sure if I really want to.
Yeah, it seems interesting, but it is still it's a sports anime. So I'm not super interested in sports anime in general.
Yeah.
It's just, but I mean, it doesn't seem bad. It's one of those. If you're into sports anime, I guess. But other than that, I'm not really. It's fine, but I'm not super interested in it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just going to, I don't know. It might be down. I don't know. It depends on. Again, it's another one of those. I might check out some more, but I might also just kind of whatever.
Maybe if I hear some things like it got really good, sometimes. I heard that soccer one that we we'd started to watch apparently got really good. I was hearing some references that it's something like story's really good even in spite of the art style.
Yeah.
The art style was weird on that one.
The art style was weird, and also the animation is kind of clearly low budget.
Yeah, but I heard the story got really good.
Okay,
so I don't know.
Have to check that one out again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna move on to the final one. The detective is already dead. Yeah. This was another one I keep seeing pop up a lot in discussions. So yeah, Siesta, who's a detective, quote unquote detective, I kind of find that suspect to say the least.
She's in junior high.
Yeah. Anyway, and she winds up. Oh, she's met by our main character, Kimazuka Kimihiko, who is a trouble magnet. He seems to be everywhere he goes. Trouble seems to follow him to the point of he keeps winding up entangled in like murder cases and whatnot, even though he did nothing.
Yep. Stuff
like that. So the police he's like well known by the police. Just like, oh, it's you again. Now what?
Now what did you do? It wasn't me.
Anyway, he's on a plane, but that was he was told to take this, just accosted, told to take this case and take it on the plane and fly off. And like, okay.
Yep.
And then well, he's on the plane, it gets hijacked. And some guy who calls himself Bat, he's the one who hijacked it, and Siesta is the detective because there's a whole thing with flight attendants because they're a detective on board, and Siesta says, I'm a detective. She was sitting next to him, by the way.
Yep.
Anyways, they kind of it turns out Bat's an android and working for something. There's SPE SPES.
Yeah, SPE. Yeah,
they make androids to menace society according to them. Anyway, Siesta kind of beats him.
Yeah.
They're in middle school, and also she has special blood.
Yeah, like some weird blood magic thing. I don't know.
It prevents people from harming her if it gets in their systems. That's just how she's able to stop the android partially.
Yep.
And then there's a follow up to that where, because it's a double length first episode. They investigate the Hanako-san legend, which has a very common legend. It's the whole go to the bathroom on this floor and knock on the door 3 times, and the girl or boy or whatever will come out and grab you and drag you into the toilet. It's a very common urban legend with Japanese schools.
Yeah.
Turns out it's actually a cover for drug deals.
Apparently, that's also somehow connected to SPS.
Yes, that whole thing, and then Siesta has 7 special tools and all this stuff, and then we jump forward for the second episode where now Kimmy's in high school. Well, that's his nickname now, Kimmy.
Yep.
And Siesta's dead because that's the name of the anime.
The
detective is already dead, and he's kind of I guess just going through life because now what? I guess it's pretty clear there's a whole thing what happened between these two in the last few years.
Yeah, they had like flashbacks and such. They did a lot of adventures together.
Yeah, there's a whole thing, and then eventually the girl named Nagisa Natsunagi comes to him and says that he needs him to find someone for her. She doesn't know, but she just feels like she needs to meet someone. And turns out she's had a heart transplant ever since the heart transplant. This whole overwhelming desire to meet this person, unknown person, has been hitting her, and turns out it's him because her heart actually was Siesta's heart.
Yep.
And that's a thing. And also there's an inspector on Fubikase, who's assistant inspector and kind of knows me Kimi very well.
Yeah.
The whole thing, and then eventually meets Yui Saikawa, who's an idol. There's a whole thing with a diamond that's going to be stolen, but they need them to guard it because it's during a show and she can't just cancel and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and apparently there's Yui's hiding something, and I thought it was a sapphire.
Sapphire was what it was. Yeah, sapphire, and then also VTubers.
Also,
Fubuki and Matsuri appeared.
Yeah, they make a cameo on the news,
and voiced by them.
Yep.
And everything. It's just,
So, like we were talking about becoming a VTuber podcast.
Yeah.
The crossover is literally there.
Mm-hmm. It's not the first time a VTuber has appeared in an anime either.
Yeah, well, apparently VTubers are showing up in actual real-world news.
Yeah.
They show up on BBC.
Yeah, I can't remember. Picora showed up in an anime. I can't remember which one it was. It was not a very good anime, though.
Yeah.
But she showed up, and it was clearly her, although they changed some stuff. But it's like, that's Picora.
Yep.
I don't remember which one it was, but yeah. I know 1 or 2 of them are singing a OP or sang one for one of an anime out there. So yeah,
something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if we actually. Well, it technically has been I believe, a VTuber anime already. He just wasn't Hololive.
Yeah.
But yeah, Detective is already dead. So that's where we are. It's that's Idol. So she's hiding something. She also has this whole thing with the whole eye patch thing because make her stand out more because it's a very cutthroat industry.
Yep.
Although I suspect that's the thing she's hiding is that it's not just because.
Yeah, there's something else going on with that because
I think it's Siesta's eye. I don't know how, but it's Siesta's eye somehow.
Well, watch it.
Because reasons shut up.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I'm wondering if that's what this is going to be like, finding her body parts in random other people, which is kind of morbid.
This is the weirdest harem I've ever seen.
God. Yeah, because they don't actually say how Siesta died.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. They haven't said how she died. So that's a bit odd.
I guess assuming at this point something happened during one of their adventures.
Yeah, because the time skip was a 4-year time skip, and they say that it happened a year earlier.
Mm-hmm. It was a year ago when the second episode starts that she died. And so that's a thing. Kind of interesting, actually. Lots of weird stuff going on. There's basically one of those, they throw enough at you to make you go, okay, I want to know what the heck's going on here.
This is weird, and now I want to know why.
Why are you like this, anime?
Yeah, it kind of draws me in on that one.
And you can feel it happening, and you just kind of go with it because, well, what else are you going to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Although I am kind of sad that the detective is dead because I kind of liked her.
She's kind of a nice character.
She was cool.
I mean, there's clearly Siesta and Kimi were. There was a thing going on between them. It's pretty clear.
Well, and even the second episode, that's the whole thing that comes to resolution of is that, Siesta's heart wanted to go back because, obviously Siesta had a thing for Kimi.
Yep.
And that's when they literally spelled that out. It's like, that's it.
There's also a bit they figured out how it was Siesta's heart because he looks Bat in jail and stuff, and the whole
and apparently he's blind now.
Yeah, and also he's got this weird growth thing they implanted on him, which is
that's the Android part.
Yeah, the Android part.
Which Android is in heavy air quotes here because it looks like more of a mutation.
Anyway, which way they the whole can't harm her if the blood's in the system, and he tries to jab
he tries
Nagisa and it just dissolves because can't harm Siesta.
Yep.
And Siesta's heart's in her chest, so
Yep. And apparently he's blind, but he can hear really, really well because of that little thing. And it was a whole thing, like, I thought it was Siesta when you walked in the door.
Yeah, it was her heart.
Because he can hear the heartbeat. And that's why they Kimi brought her to him, is because of his hearing. You could hear the heartbeat and try and identify it. You hear a whole bunch of things, maybe you can identify it. Yeah, I can. Yes, I can.
Although apparently Kimi also kind of already suspected somehow.
I guess, I don't know. It's
one of those things where it's like, aha, I'm 10 moves ahead of you. No, aha, see, I'm 20 moves ahead of you. That sort of thing.
Yeah, something like that. It's like almost like Bat is at least it's kind of at the beginning it felt like, but didn't turn out to be, like the Moriarty.
Oh yeah, Moriarty to my Holmes.
Yep.
The Radigan to my Basil. I love that movie. But the only thing, one big complaint I would have is there is a lot of talking and not much action-y stuff happening for the most part. There's a lot of talking about things happening.
Yeah. There's a lot of dialogue.
There's a lot of long-winded explanation of, again, the whole planning, I'm 10 steps, that whole thing. There's a lot of dialogue about that. And that's can be sometimes get a little grating.
I guess it can be. I didn't feel as much on that, but I guess it's also a stylistic thing. I'm also, when it comes to long-winded explanations, I like hard sci-fi, so I'm not averse to long-winded explanations in general.
No, you're not.
Like, give me some Asimov here.
So the thing, I've heard some people complain about this too. The problem is it feels like a lot of it feels like it's to save on budget. By having this stand around talk, you only have to have lip flaps and not anything else.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that thing. It's like you get like 2 minutes of like stuff actually happens, and then like 20 minutes of talking about stuff happening.
Yeah. And who knows? It may just be the first setups as we're setting things up, and things may start happening later on. but I am interested.
I'm interested still, but it's still kind of weird. I'm hoping that improves over time. We get more actual stuff happening rather than people talking about stuff happening. What is this, a Greek drama?
Yeah.
That's how they used to do it. People go on stage and talk about stuff happening. All this cool stuff would be happening off stage where you can't see anything, because that way we don't have to make props. Everyone just wears masks.
Yep.
Thanks, Greeks.
Thanks.
Of course, another thing was, the whole thing about the Greek stories.
Literally.
It just make me think about Marvel, the Marvel formula. You mean the standard 3-act hero story?
Yeah. 3-act hero story is the
stupid Greeks they ripped off Marvel.
Ancient Greeks.
It's like, come on, guys.
Where do you think we got the phrase Deus Ex? Deus Ex Machina.
Yep.
God from machine. They would literally lower Zeus from like a crane unit and wave his hand and make things better.
It's kind of interesting, but at the same time, I'm a little worried about the whole, let's just keep talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. Something happens talking and talking and talking.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried that could go a little hard on that.
Could be.
So, manga. Oh, the manga only started last year.
Oh, dang.
But the light novel started the year before. So it's actually not too old yet.
Although with that being close, if they're basing it on a manga, when they're that close, you have run into the problem that the anime tends to usually go through stories quicker
than
the
do
manga.
Some filler.
Yeah, so that tends to happen where the anime will outpace the source
depends.
material.
It might just be a single season thing, in which case it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Do a single season now. If you want to read the rest of the story, you gotta read the manga. That's how it usually goes.
Yeah.
Because it's expensive to make anime.
It is.
But manga's cheap.
Yeah, you just tell Western filmmaking to do that with books. We're just gonna, this is a popular book series. Let's do a TV series and just outpace it every single time they do it. Because, it's really popular. Keep milking it.
That happened to Dragon Ball Z and stuff. Just Toriyama Chronicle late, and they have to sit there making filler.
Yeah, that's why
Which
battle scenes last
10 minutes or 10 episodes to do 10 minutes of actual material.
Yeah, one battle scene spanned over 3 episodes.
Or more. Usually more. That's the thing. Yeah, because I remember that was the whole thing. Oh, look, trees to talk about 5 minutes left. This planet's going to be destroyed in 5 minutes. 10 episodes later, the planet's still very much there.
Yep.
Yeah, again, pretty interesting, but I'm a little...
I think
I'm
I'm probably a little
about
more.
That.
I think I'm a little more interested than you are, but I'm also not as against long dialogue because personal preferences. But yeah, I think Aquatope. I'm most interested to see where it goes.
Aquatope and Detective is already
Detective.
the two I'm most interested in between these. At least thank God we got actually good ones rather than crap, utter crap. And the other two were maybe at some point.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know.
We'll see what some other reviews are on those.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I might check out some of those other two here and there, but I don't know. I might also just go, whatever. I have other stuff to do.
Yeah.
That's it for this episode, I guess. We're kind of 2 out of 4 isn't bad.
2 out of 4.
Better than the 0 out of 4 we got before.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that one sucked because there was other good ones that came out that we just didn't get.
Yep, pretty much. That was.
I hate that.
Yeah, that was the worst. It's all these are good anime, we get none of them.
And we don't get any.
But this time we got some of the good ones.
We did.
At least hopefully they're good ones.
Yeah.
They could go to crap real quick. I've seen that happen before.
Yep.
Hope you enjoyed. If you did, you can check out other episodes. We're at newtoweeaboo.libsyn.com. If you want to check out the episodes and subscribe to the SS feed there. They'll be, posting every other Wednesday, at least for the foreseeable future. You can also find us at our other destinations, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and Amazon Podcasts. Just search for New to Weeaboo, any of those, or click the nice big buttons at the top of the Libsyn site, except for Amazon, because, that still doesn't work right.
Thanks, Bezos.
Yeah. So there's all those things. You can subscribe to any of those, and you can also contact us via email, newtoweeaboo@gmail.com, if you want to, ask questions or have comments about our spiel here, or Do you have any anime recommendations or whatever? Those are always nice. Don't mind getting those. Those help a bit.
Yep.
May not get to them immediately, but we might get them eventually. And sometimes we'll just like, yeah, we're good. We don't want to watch that. So yeah, I'm not going to do Boku no Pico just because you say so.
Yeah, no.
That's not going to happen.
No.
Probably.
And like, you send us an ecchi, chances no.
Chances, unless there's some really funny reason to do it.
Yeah, unless it's...
Or it's just so horrifically bad, we have to see. It's one of those, no, you don't understand. You have to see this.
Yeah, something like High School of the Dead was one of those. It's not an ecchi, but it treads that line, but it's so bad we have to rag on it.
Again, there's a couple out there that I know of that I'm tempted. I am
because
very
so
tempted.
It's one of those so bad it's good.
Not really so bad it's good. It's so bad I'm just having a very good time.
Yeah.
So there's that. There's our Twitter @NewToWeeaboo if you want to follow along with that and get new episodes as they come out and whatnot. And there's our personal Twitters. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1 and he's at Alcatraz717 and an underscore at the end. I've just been, once again, transforming robot stuff, mostly. Because that's the large thing of what I do.
I don't even think I've been retweeting things lately. Other than our own show.
You've just been buying Miku stuff.
Oh my god, I'm falling into Miku hell. I'm falling hard into Miku hell.
Fool.
I'm late to the game, I know, but better late than never.
Better Nate than never.
Better Nate than never. God, that story.
So that's it for this one. Tune in next time. We'll actually be talking about the Given movie.
Given.
So we'll talk about that next time. So we'll see you then. Take care of yourselves and goodbye.
Bye.